I'm a little late to this one. I've wanted to get to this one for a little bit now, but unfortunately time has overcome me a little bit, and I'm finally here though to give you a review of the new Sofia Kourtesis album, Madres, which is an album that I have been absolutely adoring since it dropped. I've played it quite a few times already now, and I am just loving it every single time, and I think I'm liking it even more and more and more and more and more with each listen. For me, this is easily one of the best house albums I have heard this year. You know me on this channel, I do like to rave a lot about house music. I don't think there's been quite as many brilliant albums in this style that I've personally heard this year. Perhaps there's been some that have slipped by me. I do really like that SCJ album, by the way, that you can get on Bandcamp. You should definitely check that one out as a little name drop there. That came out earlier back in October. So that is one that I do think is really good. But Sofia Kourtesis, I think, has taken the cake for what is the best house album of the year. And not only is it just house, that would be pretty insulting to just label it with one genre tag. You know, there's Latin coming through as well. There's some sort of down-tempo moments as well. There's lots of great moments on this album that just brings together such a cool array of influences all in one place, and Sofia is just an excellent artist. This is such a good debut album. I was already super excited for this, having heard tracks already such as Madres, which is just such a peaceful tune. Oh my god, it really doesn't go overboard with too much at all, but the sentimentality and just how much soul has been put into this track is really awe-inspiring. Like, it is such a beautiful track to open things off in the album. There is just such a tranquility when you hear this track. It just really overcomes you, and you're just feeling so nice and soothed. It's so wonderful. Portas, Bonito. Had to read that one. I didn't want to botch the title there. Again, second track coming in, a bit more of an oomph to this one, bit more of a fire in its belly, and wow, one of the best tunes of the year for sure. This is a fantastic house banger, and I'm just so impressed with how the vocals are kind of laced into this. They're super delicate, they're super light, but the track itself is just such a rhythmic tune. The vocals across this album throughout are just so exquisite, by the way. I mean, the track Vojkoshi, I don't even know how to say that. I don't even want to attempt to say it, but I have to because it's in the bloody track list. Vojkoshi, yeah, something like that. Vocals, again, are just so wonderful. There's this rattling drum that I really like, the rattling beat that kind of like kind of keeps popping up in sort of like a snake-like way. It's really cool. It's got like a bit of a hiss to it, but I think it sounds really great. And of course as well, there's tracks such as how music makes you feel. As I can't even read the English words. How Music Makes You Feel is this track that has this amazing, like, spellbinding, star-studded blossom towards the end. These synths just come together in such a way that sounds so stunning, but it really is such a great moment to get to. It's really fulfilling. It's really fantastic to listen to. The track just build in this kind of way, but up until that point though, you do get this kind of like Jamie XX Romy sort of combination of this like lush, delicate vocals coming through from Sofia here. It is really lovely up until that point, and I really like the lushness, and I really like how I am reminded of tracks from In Colour when I'm listening to this as well. Habla has this Latin flair coming through. Not too many tracks actually have this kind of in-your-face Latin flavour to them, but this track really is striking with its melodies for sure. Funkhaus as well actually has a bit more of that kind of feel to it. It's much more rhythmic though. Really great highlight of a tune on this album. And then you've got Cecilia coming later on the album, which kind of strips things back a little bit more, but again, those vocals take a shine. Really stunning stuff. Really like soulful and just moving to listen to. There's that really stripped back track as well in the second half of the album, which I think could have potential to be one of the more emotionally potent tracks for a lot of people when you listen to this album. But yeah, I really do like Cecilia as well. It actually reminds me at this point of how like Kelly Lee Owens incorporates her kind of soft, delicate, natured vocals into her tunes that just add that extra layer of beauty to the songs. And Sofia does a very similar thing as well. I'm assuming it is Sofia that is incorporating these vocals That was a firework in the broad daylight. Yes, you heard it here first. Fireworks in the daylight. Wow. But yeah, really fantastic track. And yeah, I really like that aspect of the album too, with the vocals that just add such an important sort of element to the album, really, because it just feels like this album is obviously an electronic album, and it's a house album, of course, for the most part, but often you do tend to get more like sample-based heavy stuff that drives the tracks, which isn't a bad thing. There's lots of albums that I love that do that, but I think when you've just got that kind of more human nature to the album, like a Kelly Lee Owens or like a Sofia, it actually does bring a layer to the tracks that I think are really, really great, and I think it just adds more depth as well. It just feels really soulful and moving. Yeah, I'm going 8.5 out of 10. This is easily one of the best of the year. I was actually teetering on whether it was actually a 9, but I think I'm not quite sure if I can throw a 9 at it so confidently. Maybe by the end of the year. I mean, we're still, you know, in November. There's a bit of time to go. Yeah, going back to this album regularly might make it grow to that level, but I think 8.5 is the highest praise I can give it at this moment in time. Regardless of whatever score I slap on it though, this is still one of the best albums of the year for sure. I'm really impressed with it. I'm absolutely loving it. I think the general consensus for this album is really super positive too, which is awesome to see. It really seems like a lot of people are on board with how good this album is, which is great. Thank you for watching. If you haven't heard it already, please check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon. Have a good day and goodbye.